So will crude oil hit $63 a barrel this upcoming week? There is a very strong possibility, and we're going to talk about that in today's video. Okay, so we are currently looking at the monthly chart, and if you can see right here, obviously this is the current month candle, and I've drawn a line down at 62.97, or really 63, and the reason why that number becomes more and more intriguing as we get closer here and deeper into the chart is where we are currently on our monthly candle. Now, of course, a monthly candle can switch at any time, but we are halfway through November. And so this is going to be a very interesting candle that we need to watch, because if we continue, obviously, to stay bearish, then there's a distinct possibility that we come back to retest this level right here, which is about $63 a barrel. So this is going to be a very interesting monthly candle to pay attention to. Now, in this video, I'm going to break down the monthly levels for you, the weekly levels for you, and the daily levels for you. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some entries that might interest you in both directions so that you can stay profitable this week with crude oil. So one of the biggest things that you're going to have to remember now that we are moving into a new administration, okay, when it comes to energy, and I wanted to go back and research under the Trump administration in his previous 4 years, we know that gas prices were much lower. So I wanted to go ahead and find kind of what the average crude oil price was, because again, you have to understand some of the fundamentals that we are going to be dealing with after January when they go ahead and swear in the new president. Is if we look back at this table here from his previous 4 years, from 2016 to 2020, we can see here that we went from 32 to 40 to 49 to 50s. We hovered in the 40s. We then had a spike here up to about $70 a barrel. And then we had this peak back down into the 40s. We then started at 61, 59, 58, in the 50s. And then, of course, once COVID began, we came all the way down to $12. So again, relatively much lower prices. Again, I had a question asked today about fundamentals for crude oil, and this is something that you have to pay attention to when the administration wants to keep fuel prices down. They also are promising to produce even more oil than we have today, and all of those are a recipe to continue to lower the cost of the barrels of crude oil. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the analysis here. And what I want to do first is I want to go ahead and mark up this particular level right here as a monthly support level. Okay, so you can have that. And again, the goal here is that you can follow along with me and you can mark up your charts as we go throughout the analysis. And again, we're just going to keep on that monthly support level, because again, can we go below 63? Absolutely. But for now, that is definitely a key support area, as you can see right here, that we want to look at as price continues to drop towards this particular area. And I'm going to keep my little hourglass right up here. Now I want to go ahead and drop over to the weekly chart. And again, as we scroll and look to the left, we can see here that the weekly kind of mirrors pretty close where the monthly chart is at. We have had a few rejection levels a little bit higher, so we definitely do not want to ignore that. And we are approaching one right now, as you can see here. Again, let me grab my little hourglass, and you can see here that we've had price bounce off this 66, 67 area where we are at now on multiple occasions. We came very close here, and then we are back in the same area right in here. So we do not want to discard that. So again, we will go ahead and mark this up as a weekly level. And again, for weekly and above, I don't put support or resistance, because again, understanding that support turns into resistance and resistance turns into support. But we do want to make sure that we have these levels here for us so that we understand. To the top side, I want to go ahead and look at this level right here, because we've had rejection here on 3 particular cases. And again, here's kind of what I was talking about before. You can see here we had resistance, but when we go over to the left, this acted like support, this acted like support, and this acted like support. So those are good, strong levels that we look for. So same thing here. We want to go ahead and put weekly level as we are moving up the actual levels here. So that's kind of where we are at. So before we get into the smaller time frame, right, we definitely have to understand that the current level that we are at now, this is a very important level that we are going to really have to focus in on as we get closer to the beginning of this particular week. Okay, if we obviously get a weekly candle to close below 66 or so, then you can expect price to continue down towards that $63 mark. If we look over here to the left, we saw this wick came all the way down to 63, but here was the key factor. It did not close. Okay, the weekly candle reversed and ended up closing as a bullish candle, and you can see that here what happened. Price kind of went up, came back, retested, and then went higher. So this is going to be a very interesting level to see what happens with the bulls. Do buyers jump in here at this level, or will price continue to drop down as we go out throughout the week and the coming weeks heading into the end of 2024? So now let's take a look at this daily level. And again, pretty clear. And again, this is why I want you to pause the video if you need to, and I want you to mark up your chart with regards to these levels, because this is definitely going to help you as you go throughout the week. Okay, this is definitely going to give you some areas to look at, okay, and be cognizant of that. And before we get moving to the rest of the analysis, hey, if you're getting some value so far, you can help me out by smashing the like button. If you're brand new here, welcome to the Professor Trades community. Subscribe, definitely hit the notifications bell. We're going to be doing a lot more analysis on YouTube Shorts as well, and also share this video with your trading community to help people find someone who really just focuses in on crude oil. Even though we trade other stuff, this is our bread and butter. So let's go ahead and keep moving through the analysis right now. So now that we see that this weekly level also mirrors the daily level, what I like to do is come back and then just add weekly and daily level, because that lets me know, hey, this is also a daily level. So this is a very strong support, because again, if it's at the bottom, it's support, and if it's at the top, it's resistance. So this price right here, where we are at, is going to be very interesting to see what happens and how price rejects, or again, do we close below this area and then possibly give us possible lower prices moving down. Okay, now we do see here that we had price reject this level once. So again, I do not ignore those levels. Why? Because these are levels, daily level, these are levels that have shown price to react. Okay, and it's important to understand that, because if you're selling in this particular area and you don't know that there's a previous level here, and you don't look at possibly closing out your sell, or that there might be a bounce around this 65 area, and you stay short, and then price does this and reverses on you, and you're not paying attention, you're not monitoring your trade, this can happen. So this is why I do not ignore wicks. Wicks to me tell the story where price kind of, in this case, stopped and turned back around. So you cannot ignore this 65 level if price continues to come down to this level here. So now we're going to go ahead and jump up to the 8-hour level. And this is the level that I really like a lot for analysis and looking for possible entries on a bigger time frame. So we definitely want you to pay attention and look at these levels. And again, as we are marking up these levels, hopefully you are doing the same on your platform. And remember, don't be so concerned with the price that you see on my chart, because every broker is going to have a little bit of a different price. But what you want to do, whether you're trading on futures like I do, or you're trading on a Forex account, right, is find the crude oil chart that you normally use, look for this price action, and mark up the exact same areas on the exact same time frames of these charts that I am sharing with you. don't be so concerned about the price, because most brokers are going to have different pricing from broker to broker. Okay, so continuing here on the 8-hour chart, we have to see price action. Okay, we have to see price action give us a clear direction of whether we're going to go down or if we're going to see bounce up here. And again, we're going to need a bullish engulfing candle at a smaller time frame in this area if we are expecting to take a bounce from this 66 area, let's just say. Okay, so price action is always going to be king, and we begin to look for that price action on a smaller time frame. Okay, so now that we've established this area within this working area, this is going to be the bottom zone that we are going to monitor for one of two things. Number one is if we are going to take a direction off the bounce, right, it is going to come in this particular area here, because we can just see by the naked eye that if we added a Fibonacci level, we already back down, okay, to that 100% line. Okay, so this particular area here, in my opinion, if we are going to go lower, okay, we are going to need a candle to close down in this area. And I'll go ahead and make this candle red, and then I'm going to give you some entries here in just a bit. If we're going to have a candle close on the 4-hour, you get a lot of false readings on a smaller time frame. So I like to see a 4-hour close if we're expecting price to come further down. Okay, and I'm going to show you that on the 1-hour chart in just a minute. So how would this look like on a 4-hour? You would look for some type of short position below the zone. You would definitely want to put a stop loss area above this zone, and you would want to take it down to the next daily level. That offers you kind of almost a 2.5 to 1 risk to reward. But again, this all starts with a 4-hour candle breaking the zone and closing below that particular level there. Okay, now under the opposite scenario, because we are at a very proven area of support here on the weekly and daily level, I would let price come further down a little bit more, and this would be the optimal long position, trying to take this back up to where price last came from, which is up here at 69, and then you would want to close below the zone and then add some extra points or pips depending on your spreads or what have you. So this would be the inverted trade compared to the sell area, and you would have to again get out below the zone plus a few points to give you some breathing room, okay, because we are at a weekly and daily level. And again, as we talk about, all the time in my group here, really what you are kind of focusing on in these type of trades is what we focus on in our group. And if you want more information about our group, and we are actually celebrating my first year in our community, we got some amazing community members that have been with us the entire year. You can head down to the professortrades.com and check it out. We have a lot of birthday specials going on right now for active members. We're slashing prices because again, we've been so successful in our community, and we're just going to keep it running in 2025. But what you want to do here is you want to enter 2 positions. So let's say that your risk is normally 4%. Okay, what I want you to do is chop up that 4% into 2% entries. What we like to do is secure 20 points on crude oil. So the moment you go and profit 20 points, you are cashing out that first 2%, okay, whatever that gives you, and then you're leaving a runner. You are protecting your second entry. The goal is that you can turn that 2% into 3, 4, 5, 6%. But in many cases, as you know, with crude oil being very volatile, you want to go ahead and secure that first profit, and then you want to protect the second profit. You should never let a winner turn into a loser. So again, that's something that we do routinely, and most of our members have found extreme success securing profits on one account and then trying to get that runner to just go the distance on the second one. Sometimes it turns around and knocks them out in profit. Sometimes it knocks around and knocks them out at break even. Sometimes it gives you 200 to 300 points. So you have more likely chances to win long-term and build your account over time than just sitting on one trade, hoping it turns around. And again, protecting your trade is super important. So as we get back into the chart here, that'll kind of be the opposite position here on the long position. So this is going to be a very interesting dynamic. Now let's kind of take a look at the last hour chart here. And this is now where we begin to establish levels, okay, for the intraday traders. We have to understand what price has done at these particular levels. So we want to start marking up these levels here. And again, you should be marking these up as you go through. Once I don't tag these levels and I just leave them a white line, I already know that they are 1 hour or below levels that I want to pay attention to. Okay, I'm really looking for the stronger levels here, okay, that I want to mark up with text. And then anything that's not marked up tells me that it's a smaller level. And when I go over to the left, I can validate these levels here. And again, grabbing my little hourglass, you can see here we had a rejection, right? We had support, 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 very validated. Same thing here, okay, same thing over here. So I can see here these levels are acting both as support and resistance. So now, in essence, what I have done is that I have created a playing field. I have a field now to play in for intraday trading with crude oil that I can clearly see on my chart. And I know, for example, like I would not want to look at getting into a sell position right here. Why? Because this is a weekly and daily level. So once you have your levels marked up while price is moving in this relative area, then you have an area to work with. Okay, as price begins to move up, if that's the scenario, then what we do is I update my charts inside of the group. And so members will have these charts twice a day updated with trade alerts on crude oil, along with indices, gold, silver, and everything else. We have a full-time Elliott Wave analyst who's part of our group as well. So again, you're going to get tremendous value inside of our trading club for less than $1 a day. You're going to find out. You're going to be amazed. Come in, check it out. If you don't like it, just cancel your membership. But I can guarantee you there's a reason why we have a 93.2 retention rate in our community for the past year. And again, we're celebrating, and it's a great time to come on, because if you come on today, you're probably going to see your price even lower in the next couple of weeks as we close out our celebration month for the trading club. So this is going to be a very interesting area right in here, because right now we've got some consolidation happening right here. That's the way the market closed. Okay. But again, we are now going to label our gap. And if you stick around for a minute, I'm going to show you something very interesting that is still open. So this is going to be the gap, meaning as price opens today, okay, on the Sunday equities, the difference of the gap is going to mean that if price opens higher today, okay, and we'll make this green, okay, or if price opens lower, and we'll make this red, okay, then what that means is that's going to create a gap in the market. And a gap is nothing more than price closed here. And if price opens here, the difference in space, the difference in price creates a gap. If price opens to the bottom side from where it closed, the difference in price creates what we call the gap. So that's all that the gap is a difference of price from an open to close in the markets, whether it's the daily open and close for that 1 hour that it rests, or from the Sunday gap from over the weekend. We will be trading the gaps live tonight at 6 o'clock, not only for crude oil, but as we do every Sunday for all the indices and Forex pairs as well. So that's what the gap is. That's the interesting piece that we have to take a look at. So for right now, if we were to take out all of the charts and head back over to the monthly chart that we started with, okay, it is very difficult right now to try and buy off this monthly chart. So we have to be very cautious, okay? And everything that we are telling our members in our club is that this is not a time to try to hit a home run on trading crude oil. This is a time that if you're trading a normal CL contract in futures, you probably should be trading some micros. Add 2 or 3 micros, right? Keep your risk smaller, especially as we are entering the end of 2024. We are entering a brand new presidential cycle. There is going to be a lot of uncertainty. Again, this is an administration that historically, if you look at the previous 4 years under the Trump administration, gas prices were super low, which means the price of crude oil has to drop. And again, with a lot of news on a lot of production being anticipated. And if you probably saw it earlier, scrolling at the bottom, okay, and I'll drop that here for you to read for just a minute, you are going to see that they're projecting for 2025 a tremendous surplus, right? Which means a lot of crude oil in the market. And if there's a lot of crude oil in the market, that would usually signal that crude oil prices are going to drop. Now, the only interesting fact, which is just, it's there, doesn't mean anything right now because we trade what we see, is the fact that crude oil, if we go back into our 1 hour chart and we kind of expand this, okay, there still is, and again, you would want to take a look at your broker. Okay, let me bring this back up here. You would want to take a look if we go all the way back up here, okay, and we look at price, and we squeeze our chart. Is there anything that sticks out to you? And that should be right up here. I do not know at this point if this is going to be filled, but there is still this open gap right up here that was created, okay, back on Sunday, October 13th of this year when price opened. Okay, it closed here, it opened on Sunday here, and has never come back to close the gap. So that is going to be an interesting dynamic if they eventually are going to come back up to close that gap or not. Historically, it says yes, but it does not mean that it has to be done within, this particular calendar year. And I think that's going to be very interesting moving forward. So I hope you got some value on this video. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Come on in and check out the Trading Club. I think you're going to be amazed. We do daily live analysis once, twice a day. We're giving you charts. You're getting charts from an Elliott Wave analyst as well. You've got an amazing community of over 300 members talking about trading, sharing charts. Come on in and see if it's a good fit for you, even if you're brand new to trading. Let us help you get there. This has been an amazing journey for me over the last 8 years, and I just wanted to help people out. And that's why if you compare my Trading Club for the value you get, for the money you're paying, compared to some others that are out there, you would be amazed. And again, if you're not happy, we're always going to wish you massive success. And you can always hit that cancel button, but I can guarantee you, you will not. Hey, as we wrap up this video, let's not forget that we are entering a season of Thanksgiving. So be thankful and be grateful for what you have. If you're privileged enough to even make $1 in this Forex market, be thankful. Whoever your faith belongs to, whatever God you believe in, give thanks because it is much bigger than what we do. And then don't forget, as we are entering the Thanksgiving season, to give back. Maybe volunteer at a shelter, maybe donate some old clothes or technology that you don't need. It's sitting in a garage somewhere. Donate that so others less fortunate can have a better holiday season. Maybe send some money to your local charity community, buy a cup of coffee for someone, do something out of the norm. You don't need to advertise it. You don't need to put it on social media. Just do it because it's good for the heart. And so be thankful and grateful for what you have. Even if you don't think you have much, there's always someone in a worse situation than us. So be thankful, but more importantly, give back during this Thanksgiving season, however you can give back. All right. So I wish all of you an awesome holiday season. Of course, we will be back next week, but we are entering Thanksgiving, but I'll make sure I keep you updated on the charts. Thank you for being here. If you're a subscriber, thank you for being a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, thank you for watching, and we hope you subscribe and join us. This will be an amazing end of 2024 as we roll into 2025, always giving praise to God and giving God all the glory for everything that we do. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.